Hey guys, my name is Vikram Limsay, and I find that during the pandemic or after the pandemic, a lot of us have taken on to active sports in a big way, and it's catching on big time. Cycling, swimming, running, gym, whatever. It's good. There's general, I find, awareness about keeping the health quotient high, and people are taking on to these kind of activities big time all over the country. And I've seen this happening in smaller towns, larger towns, and of course metros, weekends, and on an everyday basis. Of course, gyms are closed and swimming pools are closed, so we're kind of restricted to running and cycling. And cycling is picking up big time. I just happen to own an active sports company called ProCycle, other than my business consulting firm. So I have access to a whole lot of cycles. Many friends keep asking me what to buy, when to buy, what kind of cycle to buy. So I thought I'll just share it with you. These are all my personal bikes. I brought them out. I thought I'll take it out of the garage and just show it to you so that it helps you in making a decision about what to buy. Of course, apart from keeping you in peak physical condition, cycling is a great option in clearing your mind also about business, about life in general. If you're entrepreneurs, leaders, when you're on this long ride or in mountains or on the roads and all that, helps you clarify a lot of cobwebs. Okay, so coming on to, without getting too much philosophical about it, let me just try to tell you all the different basic genres. Yeah, the first genre is something called as a road bike. A road bike is essentially, you will find the characteristics, got very thin tires, very low strung handlebar, a high seat position. So when you're riding it, you're kind of giving a very it gets you aerodynamic feel. There's less wind resistance. It will never have a shock absorber. That's because this is meant essentially for speed on a long distance dash. This is not meant for, if you want to take a twist and turn every now and then in a city. It's not meant for that. It's meant for long distance riding, long distance endurance riding, if you want to do that. So this is called a road bike. Road bike because you can only ride it on a road, on a tarmac. You can't ride it off tarmac, right? So the first type. Yeah. The second type is something called as, of course, let me tell you, I'm riding a Scott CRV carbon frame, one of the world's best brands. And what a carbon frame does, it's expensive, but then I can just pick it up in 2 fingers. It's that light, so whatever weight is there, it's about this. So this is what a Scott CRV carbon frame is. These are all vintage bikes, by the way. I have access to all the great bikes, but my personal bikes are all vintage old bikes. So this is what a road bike is all about. Yeah. The second type of bike is something called as a MTB, or a mountain bike. Yeah, they call it mountain bike, but it's called a MTB. MTB means it's a multi-terrain bike. I'm riding another great brand. It's a Specialized Scarf Comp 29er. 29er means it's got a 29 dia wheelbase. You'll find the characteristic about a MTB is that it's got very fat tires. It's got a lot of space over here because generally it's ridden off tarmac, so there are stones and gravels and you can negotiate that. It's got very comfortable seating position. The difference between this is the other extreme of the road bike. The road bike is meant for high speed dashes, low on maneuverability. This is generally meant for off tarmac riding, but it's low on speed. So that's what a MTB does. MTB will always come with a suspension. I can, in fact, this is advanced bike, so I can even lock a suspension. So if you lock a suspension, it won't move. If you open a suspension, then you can see it will give you that. So when you're riding in mountains or jungles or stones or whatever, that's what it does. The third type, so that's on 2 extreme. One is a road bike, one is a mountain bike. The third type is something called as a city bike. And a city bike is it's also called an urban bike or a hybrid bike. A hybrid, as the name suggests, is hybrid between a road bike and a MTB. The road bike has very thin tires. MTB has a very fat tire. This has got something in the middle. The seat strung is again relaxed. And it's meant for day-to-day riding. If you want to ride to commute to office, commuters are increasing. A lot of people are now riding to work every day, and in the evenings or in the mornings we don't take it out. The other 2 bikes require some special timings. You need to probably take out your weekends and go for riding. A hybrid or a city bike you can ride every day. That's what it's all about. So it's exactly in the middle. So this is hybrid. For your day-to-day riding, it's exactly in the middle of all those. This may have a shock absorber, it may not have a shock absorber. When it doesn't have a shock absorber, then it's called a rigid fork bike because the fork is rigid. It just adds on work. So a lot of people don't like that. So this is called a hybrid or a city bike, right? Other than this, it's my favorite bike. I'll show you that. My favorite bike is, I use a folding bike, and this is simply awesome. So this is one of the world's most iconic brands. It's called a Brompton. It's not just an iconic brand, it's a engineering marvel. It's a British brand, produced in just one factory in London. It's essentially a city folding bike. It's a marvelous bike. It stays with you all the time. It's in your boot, in your car, in the elevator, in the escalator, under your bed, under your office table. So basically, if you want to ride anytime, it's also flexi, right? You can, if you don't feel like riding that day back from work to office or work to home, you can hire a cab and put it in the cab or something like that. So it does that. It helps me. So I love this bike because it allows me and gives me an option of riding 24/7 whenever I want to ride. It just takes 30 seconds to open. It's a cult brand actually. Brommy riders, as they are called, the guys who ride a Brompton are called Brommy riders. It's a phenomenal bike. Opens in a 30-second and you're kind of ready to ride. That's it, you're on, and it takes 30 seconds to close. Similarly, it's such a wonderful bike actually because it gives you the riding flexibility at any point. Don't be fooled by the size of the tire, because if you see, the tire is small but the chain wheel is bigger than the other, or as big as the other. So for those of us who understand a little bit of engineering will understand that the impact on torque. So it's very fast on the uptake when you're on a signal, or if you want to maneuver the short tire, and you can actually, the smaller tires are meant because it folds very fast in a compact size. It goes into the metro scanner, or even some people even carry it in the hold as check-in baggage in the aircraft. Of course, now it's 7.5 kg, so you can't do that, at least in India, but earlier you could. But that's what this does. So this is called a folding bike from Brompton, one of the most iconic brands in the world. It's an engineering masterpiece. So these are the 4 basic genres. There are many other genres, of course. If you go on the YouTube, you'll find it. But I thought I own these 4, and I thought I'll showcase it to you today. If you have any questions, call me or look up YouTube, and you'll get much more detail from many more experts. But make a right decision. More importantly, I feel, when you buy a bike, pick up a high-end, for those of us who can afford, pick up a high-end brand, because well researched. It's not about the bike, it's about your body, and these are fitted and researched for your body geometry. So that's why there is advanced body geometry involved in a bike manufacturer. So pick up a great brand, and always wear a helmet, because it's not about the cost of the helmet, it's the cost of your head, because that I'm sure all of us will agree. So yeah, I hope you liked this short video. I hope it wasn't long enough and helps you. Buy a great brand, keep your health in check all the time, ride. It'll clear a lot of your mind of the cobwebs that you have, and generally keep you in peak physical condition. So cheers, and that's bye from me, Vikram Limsay. Take care. See you with another active sports later, which will help you in your life. Yeah, bye.